奴の剣も来た。もう読めるぜ。来た大振り。はまった。俺が油断して大振りするのを待ってやがった。
So, how about that legendary Sigurd, huh? I guess he got himself into Fire Emblem Heroes for the second alt for the third time. You know, it's not like as an Arvis fan I'm particularly happy, or am I as a Fire Emblem 4 fan? Am I supposed to be okay with this? I mean, I guess so. You know, Legendary Sigurd's actually a pretty interesting unit. I usually don't make these videos unless I have something interesting to say or I think something is mechanically defining in Heroes. So you know I'm going to hit you with some information here. So I'm not going to stall any longer. You guys saw a little anime intro that I worked tirelessly on. I hope you enjoyed that. And behind this, I should have a table of contents for you to skip ahead to whatever segment of the video you're interested in. But I suppose for anyone who wants to watch the video completely from start to finish, I'd be very thankful you do. But we'll go ahead and start with sort of what makes Legendary Sigurd unique. He's got a very nice weapon which gives him slaying, which is honestly the main thing for it. The extra stats are nice, but let's be real. Sigurd, while he can dish out a decent amount of damage and take a little bit of it as well, is probably more designed to be a fire starter, if you will, of sorts. Haha, I don't. Very, very funny pun. Very original joke. You know, sit down, you don't have to stand up. I don't need your round of applause, it's okay. But yes, for lack of a better word, Legendary Sigurd is a fire starter, and what really helps him do that is his special, which reads: at start of turn, unit can move 1 extra space. Period. That's it. The special literally gives him 4 move. Permanent. This is the first 4-move cavalry unit that we've ever gotten in Fae. It's interesting that it's on a special, and I actually prefer this because that means you're not really comboing it with Gale Force. At least, not directly. Then it reads boosts special damage by 20% of unit's attack, which is very nice because he's got a lot of attack. And then after combat, if unit special triggered, grants attack flux +6 to unit and all allies for 1 turn, and unit and all allies can move 1 extra space. Now, I know I'm a little bit late to the punch here with this video, but if you don't know what this means or how this is very impactful for Fire Emblem Heroes, it's basically akin to giving him a lot of extra movement. Cavs normally have 3 move. Adding 1, that's like a 33% boost in movement. It's a lot. It's a lot of movement, especially with how small the maps are. So, I mean, you guys can probably already imagine he's giving everyone 1 extra movement, so all your Cavs have 4 movement, all your infantry have 3 movement, your armors all get 2 movement, so you don't need to bring Odd Tempest anymore, you don't need to bring Armor March anymore. Cavs never had the equivalent of that, so they just get that as an extra, and Flyers as well. So let's talk about a few of the interactions that happen with this. So I did a little bit of experimentation with a bunch of different things that I thought would be interesting. I recorded the footage separately, so I'm sorry if it's not completely synced up, but I'll do my best in post-editing to make sure that it all matches. So the first interaction that I want to talk about is Armor March, Odd Tempest, or Visible Movement buffs in general. These won't stack, and it says that in the skill, that turn only does not stack, bonus granted to allies even if unit's HP reaches 0. So even if he dies, this actually procs, which is also very important because you just can't stop it. But anyways, back to the interactions. So any visible movement buff, you know, the little shoe icon that your unit gets if they're buffed with like an Armor March or something, this doesn't stack with it. So really, to make use of this, you get to free up the C slot on all of your other units. You know, say bye to Odd Tempest or even Tempest, say bye to Armor March. Anything that does that, you can get rid of. So that's plain and simple. The second one I want to talk about is Pathfinder. Now, people made a huge fuss out of Pathfinder when it came out, and I've never really been sold on it because you need to be behind the unit that has Pathfinder, which is Dagger. And if you're behind Dagger to get an extra movement, then it's kind of counterintuitive. Why don't you just stand on the space where Dagger is and then get your extra movement? But I suppose it could be comboed if you move her in front, at which point I would be like, why don't you just repo? I don't know. Pathfinder's weird, but if you find yourself in sort of situations where you're area of putting your units are restricted like sort of Aether raids, and I'll show this later on in the video, it can be nice to have a 5 movement cavalry unit. I know, don't panic. 5 movement Reinhardt is possible, but what are we gonna do? This is the way the game is moving. And speaking of calves, let's talk about trace skills and Canto. So I have Atana, and luckily enough I was able to use the trace skills to experiment with this, and I can confirm this does work with trace skills. Because what trace skills do is they calculate all of your remaining movement, and then they add +1 to it. So if your default movement is 4 spaces, you move 2 of them, then your remaining movement is 2 and it adds +1. So you're cantoing 3. It works, and it works very, very effectively. Now the last one that I want to very quickly touch on are ground orders and aerobatics. So these ones kind of don't really matter too much to the movement, because if you're using sort of ground orders or aerobatics, you're getting your 3 spaces anyways, or your 4 spaces or whatever. So it's just kind of like using these together is suboptimal. If you're going to get the extra movement buff anyways, it's going to sort of outweigh the ground orders, aerobatics, flyer formation, all those kind of things that would let you move what's effectively 3 spaces. As long as you hit with Sigurd first, you're getting the 3 spaces anyways, it's kind of wasted. So you can see that you will be very much reformatting your teams to fit Sigurd, because he just does so much just by proccing this special. And the special is a 2 cooldown special. His weapon is a slaying weapon, which makes it a 1 cooldown special. If you give him Quick Impulse, it's a 0 cooldown special. He will proc it every single time, or at least guaranteed for 1 turn. So it's just incredible how much he adds in terms of value. Like, I run a lot of armors on my teams. With Sigurd, I get to just smack someone and then move my armors 2 spaces. That is huge. That is really huge to give me that extra flexibility. So yeah, I don't have much more else to say about interactions. I can't really think of anything else that would be worth noting here. I guess Gale Force, but Gale Force works the same way in which it gives you a full extra turn, and that movement is still there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, normally I have a segment where I talk about sort of defense applications of this, but I don't really have the tools to make very cancerous Cavline defenses to showcase Legendary Sigurd. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link in the description and up here at the top right corner of your screen in the video to a video made by Elderv, who, by the way, is a very talented artist and Fire Emblem Heroes content creator. So if you haven't seen his stuff, very witty as well, very funny jokes. So check that out if you want some really terrible, terrifying defenses that 100% will become meta-defining in Aether raids. I'm not going to, sugarcoat this. This is the future of Aether raids. And if you want to go along for that ride, you better get yourself a Legendary Sigurd, I'm telling you right now. But what I do want to do is I would like to pivot more towards the offensive area of Aether raids and showing Sigurd sort of more under a player-controlled situation and show you really how powerful he is if you utilize him. And there's 2 different tactics that I used, so you guys can see the timestamps and check those out. And I also have a very special guest with me who's commentating, so I am going to let this lead on into that segment now. Alright guys, so for the next point in this showcase, we've got our Aether raids segment. And this is going to be a little bit interesting, and I've brought someone who I think would be wonderful to help commentate this section with me, and that is Promise Me One Thing. She does Aether Raid's daily videos, well, usually daily, right?
Most days.
Yeah, most days. She tries, when her videos isn't getting corrupted, that is.
Hey everyone, I'm Promise. Like Link said, I do Aether Raids videos where I do my best to use Claude whenever I can.
Yeah, so if you guys want to check out her channel, I'll leave a link in the description, and there will be an annotation in the top right corner to her most recent video, so you guys can click on that and go there and show her some love. Tell her Arvis did nothing wrong. Maybe she'll believe it.
Maybe.
Okay, so are you ready to get started?
I'm ready to see what you've cooked up here.
I've been loving playing with Sigurd, as ironic as that sounds for my channel, but he's actually been very interesting to play with just because of how ridiculous he is. And I've got 2 offense matches from people who are on my friend list, because that's where you can get easy enough offense matches. And if I told you one of them has a turn 2 clear, would you believe me?
I would have to see it to believe it.
Okay, are you ready to see the first one?
Sure.
Okay. Here's the first one.
Is that my team?
It is your team.
Oh.
And yeah, we had a little bit of fun with it. So what do you think is going on here?
I have no idea what to expect, but so first of all, I don't know why Percival is there. No clue. Second of all, it kind of looks like a hit and run strategy, which I haven't seen anyone do successfully against my team yet, so I guess this will be interesting to watch. I don't know.
So for full disclosure, I didn't actually get this clear on the first try because I was testing to see if it would actually work. So this was probably like the third try.
Oh, that's good news for me then.
Yeah, no, it didn't immediately work because I was still figuring out the pieces. But yeah, this was the third try. And maybe once I configure the units and you kind of see their skills. Here, let's play this and see. Maybe we can show you their skills.
Yeah, I figured Sigurd would have to be there so that he can reach.
Yep, there you go. So let me try and get this annoying bottom part off. Yeah, there we go.
Attack speed push 3, not 4 on Dagger.
Look, don't judge me. I didn't level up her SP. She's just there to give Bector 5 res on light season. That's all she does.
True. Fair.
Yeah. So this is turn 1. And this is the configuration. Any guesses now?
So Sigurd, he can move 1, 2, 3, 4, and attack Olwen.
Mm-hmm.
I expect that's what you're going to start off with. And then everyone else can move 1 extra space. Still don't really know why Percival was there. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to expect beyond that Sigurd movement.
Okay. So this is kind of like a mini hybrid attempt at a Gale Force team. Percival was just the first unit I found in my barracks with a slaying weapon and Gale Force.
Okay.
So I went with that.
Fair.
So I'll let the first turn kind of play out, and then we can maybe rewind and talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, Ninja Lin. Oh my god, how can she reach that far?
Because of Dagger, right? So she's got the
No,
one.
I know.
Yeah.
I understand. Not super happy about it, but... And I don't have a duo's hindrance structure, so you can just use her dance whenever you want.
Although I left it until the very end to try and prove a point that you could probably snipe the duo unit by the time you need to use the duo's hindrance, unless it's kind of like in the position of Bramimond. So here I actually had to pause and think. I was like, wait, hang on, did I mess this up?
Well, the only person you can attack now is Veronica, so like, yeah.
Right, and then I Gale Force off, but that kind of leaves Bramimond free to attack someone after that, which is why I was kind of like, I think I screwed this up.
Fair.
But you'll see what ends up happening because of Duo Sigurd's movement buff. It should not work on everyone. I think it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know what to... I don't see what happened here, but...
So I used Duo Peony's skill.
Okay.
And that actually...
Wait. You're kidding.
3-move normal Peony.
Oh my god. Yeah, I can see it from here.
So Linja doesn't have to take out Triandra. Triandra could be taken out by Percival or Sigurd, and then Reinhardt. So
Yep.
It's just
So yeah, even the duo's hindrance structure wouldn't super help here.
right, unless the duo unit was Bramimond, and
All
that
the
could
way
also
back, yeah.
kind of be resolved by something like Lunge. And I'm just gonna pause here real quick and ask you, what turn is it?
That's very thematic.
I had to do it. I was like, well, you know what? I actually wasn't gunning for it, but once I saw turn 2, I was like, hang on.
You gotta do it when you see it.
Yep, pretty much. And then it kind of just ends up being...
Yeah,
Percival
from
gets
here
the
it's like...
pots and Sigurd finishes it off.
Fair?
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think? How do you think this is going to impact your own defense team, like in general, aside from what I just showed?
I'm not super concerned. First of all, because you said it took you a couple tries. So a lot of people who are seeing this for the first time probably won't have that clear, like right off the bat. And second of all, I don't expect a legendary on a banner with no sparking to be common enough that you would seem enough to make a big difference. I don't know.
I think that's a fair idea, yeah. it should be interesting to see him, though. I think he's pretty cool and enables a lot of broken strats.
Yeah, I don't know how many people will actually, like, realize how to fully use his potential. And especially if you, like I'm someone who doesn't have dagger. If you didn't have dagger here, like, this just wouldn't have worked, right? So you also need to have dagger. I've seen a lot of people in my replays this week who just do not have dagger, so I don't think she's that common either.
I mean, you don't need dagger. If Air was there, I would have swapped spaces between her and Ninja Lin, and then Air would have broken.
Okay, fair.
So she's not completely necessary, but she was just there, so I left her there. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe she is necessary for, like, the 6th slot. Because I did use everyone here, so you're right, actually. She might be necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, actually.
This was fun to watch, though.
It's just so funny, because, like, there's only one real Gale Force unit. I guess Ninja Lin kind of counts.
Ninja Lin definitely counts on a team where there's no duos hindrance.
Yeah. I mean, in most seasons, you would probably have one up there. Although, I don't know how much it super matters, like we said before, but that's just because Sigurd is so broken. Like, just 4 unconditional move is crazy.
On everybody. Oh, God.
Yeah, and the +1 on Dancers is huge. It's way bigger than people think.
Yeah.
Especially on flying Dancers. Like, we have a Cav Dancer and everyone kind of complained. Now every Dancer can have it.
Everyone's a Cav Dancer now. Fun.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay. So I will let this misery go now, unless you have anything else you want to say.
No, like, I think this is super cool, and I'm just glad I don't have to see it in my actual replays.
If you end up against me, maybe you will. No promises. Okay, so...
Oh, yeah, just one quick question.
Yeah, go for it.
So why didn't it work the first 2 times? Like, what did you do wrong?
So the first 2 times it didn't work because I didn't have Duo Peony on the team. I didn't have that second Dancer, nor did I have the Duo skill with her. So it might very well be conditional on Duo Peony, or I would need something like a lunge on Percival to get him into this spot and brute force my way in. Because then Ninja Lin could probably still use her Duo skill and hit like Reinhardt or whoever else was free, because Sigurd was actually free. He didn't need Peony's Dance.
True. Yeah, no, he didn't super need it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was kind of just figuring things out at first. What really kind of impedes this is the structures that you have down here. The fact that you have everything blocked off forced me to waste actions, making way for Sigurd to get up and for Lin to get up. So I think,
that's why it's usually pretty tricky to Gale Force my team, because of the structures.
Yeah, I think that's like a super good idea to have them there, especially with the threat range that the rest of your Cavs have. So yeah, no, all in all, it still probably works most of the time. So
great.
But you know whose defense didn't work most of the time, and who I actually did beat first time?
Who? Is it? I'm not going to say anything. Who is it?
Do you recognize?
Is that
this
Phoenix Master?
It is Phoenix Master 1's defense.
Okay.
So I actually did beat Phoenix Master 1's defense first time around. I was surprised. This is how I normally play in AR. This is what my team would normally look like. So, near save Gustav, far save Vector, and then my 3 mythics and whoever's a bonus unit or whatever. This week it's actually Dagger, so that was convenient. And I just hopped into it with my normal team, and I was able to beat it. I had to go back and re-record it, and the recording's actually the same way I beat it the first time, so sue me. I had to do it twice. But it did work the first time around, and you'll see why. The combination of Sigurd giving every single one of these units an extra movement, like, this is unconditional armor march.
Yeah.
On armors that don't
well,
need to be
conditional on him activating his special, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but you could probably tell exactly what he's going to do turn 1.
Do you start out from this position?
No.
Or do you switch him around to take out Wrath?
I'll switch him around, yeah. You got it right.
Yeah.
I
figured.
Went through the units here.
Is this a turn 2 clear as well?
No.
Too bad.
I probably could have done it if I finagled a specific Gale Force team for it, but I wanted to just test my normal team plus Sigurd. So that's starting position. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. So how do you think this one's going to play out?
How do you... Oh, he gets the extra movement, so he can just immediately go and snipe Wrath. But I honestly have no idea what's going to happen after that. Like, I don't really know.
Take a guess.
You're probably gonna get the save units in position to save him after you've sniped Breath?
Bingo.
Maybe? Okay.
Yeah. So the tricky thing is PM1's team is like very balanced between having, physical but also ranged.
Yeah, so you need both saves.
You kind of need both saves. The nice thing about Sigurd, though, is he has that 40% damage reduction, and he's actually not that slow between, I think he gets Peony's buff, and he also gets his 5 in combat from his sword, and the +3 from the mythic boost. So he's not super slow. I don't think any of these units actually double him, maybe except air, but he's tanky enough to just tank, or hell, but he's tanky enough to take that.
Doesn't Duo Leaf naturally double? Not naturally, but because of their weapon?
Oh yeah, probably. But I'm talking more about the melee guys, because like you said, I'm going to get my save unit in there.
Yeah.
So I will let this play out.
I did not realize how big 4 movement was until I'm seeing it in action right now.
Huge. It is so massive. And he's just so strong too.
Yeah. Do you smite him up now?
Yep.
Okay, fair.
This is how I've been playing AR since 2019. Just smite Hector up. And he conveniently did a lot of damage and doubled Eldigan. So I was like, whatever.
Not that much damage, is it? Oh, Aether.
Yeah, I use Aether Vector.
One of the few.
One of the few indeed.
So I guess you didn't get Gustav in position.
No.
I guess you didn't need it?
I kind of just went for it. I was like, I don't think he'll die to melee. I was more worried about Leaf, but Leaf just kind of...
Oh.
Yeah.
So Eldigan did double, but...
Yeah, he did.
It didn't really matter.
Sigurd got 1 damage back. It's very lore accurate.
Does he get this?
Nah, she has
I don't
her
think he does,
annoying
right?
skill.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Fatal Smoke
Damn,
there was
Grammy
nice.
zoomed all the way. Oh, what did Fatal... Oh, because of Mystic Boost
Yeah.
on Hell? True.
Yeah, Bramond, I think his Bramond has Wings of Mercy, I believe.
Oh, okay. I don't know if it was ground orders or what.
Oh, it might have been Ground Orders. One of the two, anyways.
Oh, wow, that's not a good...
Yeah, here I was kind of thinking, what did I do last time? And then I was like, I probably just got rid of the biggest threat on the board.
Yeah.
So
That's a cool line.
The tricky thing about saves that a lot of people don't realize is sometimes you end up forcing saves and ending battles early. Definitely guilty. So here I had to be very careful to leave a unit alive to get the pots.
Oh, true.
And I had to choose between using near save or far save.
Interesting choice. I guess their duo Sigurd, or his duo Sigurd, can't kill your Sigurd?
Yeah, exactly, because he only attacks once and Sigurd has the minus 40%. But here, movement shines again. Look at this movement on Peony.
Yeah.
Look at how far she goes.
How many movement is that? One,
Well,
two, three.
It's 3, but she can go through Dagger to go all the way up to Gustav, but I didn't want to risk gambling the trap.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be a clean clear.
Yeah. So I just danced and then 3 move Smite Milla.
Oh my.
And I noticed I was in range and just killed Eldigan instead.
Wait, would it have mattered if that was the real trap?
No.
Why not?
Because she had
She could still move?
It's the orders buff from Peony dancing her, so she would have teleported over Gustav anyways.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I kind of just made a front line here where both sabers are protecting each other and they're protecting Dagger. And then the only one left who can be attacked safely is Sigurd, so it forces Duo Sigurd to attack himself.
Yeah. Trust nobody, not even yourself.
Yep, exactly. Legendary Sigurd just kind of marched in here and was like, I am the real one.
That's not a lot of damage, even without the damage reduction.
Yeah. I guess he does get the 5 from Dagger and the 5 from his weapon, and they're the same color.
Yeah, so now you just block them off.
Yeah, now the rest of it's just blocking off and clean up pretty much for like a couple turns, so we can speed through that.
Yeah.
And, they just clean up the pots. And Sigurd has to end it in style and get his revenge.
Definitely.
So yeah, sorry PM1, but after last time I brought you on to do an AR video for me and you beat me with your legendary Claude, I had to snap back right back with the newest legendary and beat your defense. So I think we're tied 1 versus 1 now.
Yeah, I saw that. He just beat it with ease. No problem.
I was like, if Phoenix Master 1 doesn't beat it, I'm going to be disappointed. And he did. I was like, you know what? I can't be mad at this one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So what do you think of Legendary Sigurd now that you've seen all that?
This definitely makes me more likely to want to keep him. I'm usually not the most offensive of AR players. Like, I'm usually more of a, tank everything. But, maybe it could be fun to try some stuff out with him. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm very tank-oriented as well. But when I saw that 4 movement and a +1 for everyone, it just opens up the map completely.
Yeah, and I think the fact that they made his special essentially 1 cooldown means that, with Quicken Pulse, it is guaranteed that you're going to activate that. So, super easy. I think it's a little too easy, but...
It should have been, a 3 or 4 cooldown special. Although, even then, he doesn't have a problem activating it.
Yeah. I mean, at least then, it wouldn't work against null follow-up units, for example, but here, you just, march right in there turn 1, and you just pop it off.
Yeah, especially for very frail teams that are offensively oriented, like Cav lines, for example, you can easily snipe off a unit.
Mm-hmm. Although, to be fair, that was possible before, too. I've seen a couple people do that in Anima season with their Regan. They usually don't end up winning those matches, though, so this is a change.
Yeah. No, Sigurd, because he buffs everyone. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And fun fact, I was doing research before we sat down and recorded this. His special effect activates even if he dies.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nuts.
Which makes him potentially even better on an ARD team. As go in there, sacrifice himself, everybody gets the extra movement, and then stuff can start to happen.
Yeah. Exactly. All right.
Although on offense, you wouldn't want to be taking that death.
No. I mean, some people still do sack meta on offense in AR.
I guess. It's not optimal, though.
No. But I guess if you have enough merges on your mythics, you could do it and still stay in the tier. Granted, your defense has to be, invincible, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all I've got to say about sort of the offense matches that we just watched. Do you have anything else to add?
This is scary, and I hope not as many people see this as they saw your far save defense team, because that became super influential, so I guess we'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me, Promise. It was a pleasure to have you, and you were great on commentary. And like I said earlier, if you guys want to check out her channel, links in the description.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for incorporating my defense team onto this too. That was fun.
I kind of had to do it. I was like, well, okay, I'll be honest. I beat your defense team first, and then I was like, hey, I should invite her to be on.
I'll take that.
Yeah. So it is what it is. But yeah, glad to have had you here. And hopefully we'll collab more soon.
Yes. Can I say bye?
Yeah, you can say bye.
I don't know. Bye.
Alright, so before I let this video end, the Fallen banner we just got the details for it today, so I wanted to add a little addendum with my thoughts on the Fallen banner versus going for Legendary Sigurd before that banner drops and you all get baited. Legendary Sigurd is meta-defining. The Fallen banner is not. I don't think Dimitri is particularly very good. He's got Fire Sweep on his B skill, which is interesting, and some Canto, but other than that, there's a lot of units that can do what he wants to do. Both of the Morgans seem kind of nifty, but again, they've got those C skills, which are kind of new, kind of not great, so I really don't see, a space. They're kind of generic. There's not really much to do with them. Edelgard is the only one that's kind of head-turning. Edelgards are classically always very, very good, but I think this one is actually inferior to Brave Hector, and I'll tell you why. This Edelgard has Wary Fighter on her weapon. Brave Hector has the Wary Fighter effect without the drawback. He actually gets the guaranteed double. Edelgard does have the plus side of having DC in the weapon as well, but you really need to be building around beast units in order to make this work. And in a mode like Aether raids, that can be a little bit tricky sometimes to make sure you get the positioning in and all that kind of stuff. So if you have the resources to make Edelgard work, she can be very, very strong. Potentially the best tank in the game regardless. But the fact that she doesn't double is kind of a little bit of a turnoff, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, if you were to ask me for my recommendation, I would recommend you go after Sigurd and maybe someone like Flane if you don't have her. She's currently on the banner. It's a 3-unit banner and she's alone on colorless. So I went back in and grabbed myself a second one for light season. Yeah, I don't like the Fallen banner overall. I think it's a big waste of what we usually have as like, I've made showcases for the last 2 Fallen banners. One of them was Berkut, which admittedly was somewhat of a joke video, but I did think his applications were funny, and the rest of the units on the banner were pretty good. And then the other one was Fallen Ike, who brought with him a mechanic that was completely brand new and very, very good. Here, I'm at a loss for words as to what to really make a showcase on, so unless I get like Hegemon Edelgard in my ticket pulls, I'm probably not showcasing anything, or if Orson is really good. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you everyone who stuck for the full length of the video. Thank you Promise for also coming along with me. And I will see you all in a video very, very soon. Peace.